But even that was like such a relief and a reminder of like, oh my gosh, I'm like not the only person. Went to YouTube, started searching stuff. It was just like check and check like everything that I was experiencing. But the catch was is there's no cure. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like for me, I think just persevering, you end up growing so much in the process. It's the truth is you have to just stick it out and stay strong.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Hero 360, the storytelling platform that brings you inspiring voices from individuals who are making an impact by advancing the awareness and research for different medical conditions. My name is Kerri Fitzgerald, and today we are highlighting the hero story of Scott, founder of 4Summers. Scott, thank you so much for speaking with my hero today.
Sure, Carrie. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, let's get into your story. So, you were experiencing some visual field symptoms that seemingly couldn't be explained by doctors. You mentioned you went to several doctors. They couldn't figure out what was causing the impacts to your vision. After doing your own online research, as we all do with Dr. Google, you came across a diagnosis. So, can you tell us about the visual changes you were experiencing and also your journey to finally understanding what was going on?
Yeah, for sure. So, the visual disturbance that I experience are what I would describe as like an old television static. So it just looks kind of like a fuzzy overlay over my vision. I also see excessive floaters. So, if you've ever had like on your vision, it looks like a hair that when you look around, it kind of follows you. I have those, but like in excess. And then I have what's called the blue field entopic phenomena. And what the best way I can describe that is it looks like there's tadpoles just swimming in my vision everywhere. And I primarily see those when I'm outside, as well as like paleonopsia, which is where like when I move my hands in front of my field of vision, like my like my hand almost blurs as I move it. Those are the majority of my visual disturbances. Sometimes I get visual migraines as well as like spark flashes and starburst in my vision that can be distracting.
And so you found out it's actually a neurologic condition, correct?
Correct, yeah. So it's called visual snow syndrome, and it's a neurological condition. And the best way I describe it, which I'm not a doctor, so I may get it wrong, is it's just like basically like a misconnection between your brain and your eyes, which causes disturbances. Yeah, with like the static and stuff. But some of the other stuff is like actually happening inside your eyes. So it's honestly the reason why it was so hard for me to get diagnosed is because it's kind of hard to pin down exactly what's happening. So I think that honestly has contributed to like the struggle of actually getting the diagnosis and for other people as well, not just myself.
Yeah, so it's a very rare, right, condition, little known. So how did you finally come to find out that this is what you had?
Yeah, so without, giving you a 20-minute story, basically, I had developed these symptoms. I was reluctant to go to the doctor because to be honest, I have like pretty bad health anxiety, and I was like, this will go away, this will go away. It didn't go away. Went to three different eye doctors, and they would dilate my eyes and tell me I was fine, which would basically send me home with more questions and more anxiety because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going blind, and they don't know what's wrong, or like maybe I have a brain tumor, like all those thoughts going through my head, just kind of making like a 2.5, 3 year period really hard for me. But I got my diagnosis was is I kind of like went to YouTube, started searching stuff, found a video that led me to the Visual Snow Initiative's website. And on there, it was just like check and check, like everything that I was experiencing, which I immediately, like, it almost brought me to tears, just like tears of like joy to see that, like, oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. And I literally took that criteria into my next eye doctor appointment. And I was like, this is a new doctor. So this is like the fourth doctor. I said, dude, I'm going to show you something. This is everything I'm experiencing. So I was scrolling through it with him and we had a good conversation. He was a really good doctor. And he's like, dude, you probably don't tell people this, but you just diagnosed yourself. He's like, this is really rare. Not a lot of, people know about the stuff. So it was one of those things where it was a sense of relief to get validated from a doctor to realize I'm not going blind. That felt good. But the catch was, is there's no cure. So it was kind of like that kind of was hard. But yeah, that's how I kind of found out about my diagnosis or like what I have, basically.
And so you, like you said, there's no cure, but you've kind of taken this experience, right, to launch 4 Summers, so an initiative that seeks to increase awareness of and raise money for research for visual snow syndrome. So, what motivated you to undertake this endeavor?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I've been talking to like on social media, I've done like posts about visual snow, and I've had a lot of conversations with people who have struggled really hard, just like myself, and honestly, in some cases, even worse than me. And that like weighs on your heart, and like in DMs and talking to people, you can only help so many people. And so I started to sit down and think about like what do I want to do with this? And one of my favorite quotes was told to by somebody I really respect. They said that great societies function when men and women plant seeds of trees that they'll never sit in. And so what that means to me is like, what can I do in my with my life to be a positive impact? Plant trees and then hopefully have shade for people down the line. And so in my mind, I started thinking about that. I'm like, well, the biggest thing that solves diseases is or like it helps get cures is, obviously like shining a spotlight on it, but also like money. You need money. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, how could I raise money and make this like something I could do and like justify doing for like 20 years? Like if I could put 20 years of like my time into something, like how can I raise money? And I was like, well, visual snow is a neurological condition that affects the eyes. What if I launched a sunglasses brand? And every time I sold a pair of sunglasses, if I donated it to charity or to like research centers, I think I could have a pretty big impact. And I'm just a creative person and I love like that process of like developing things. So it fired me up and I'm like, dude, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna start this brand. So that's kind of like the inception idea.
That's awesome. And so on June 20th, very shortly after this interview will be published, you're hosting a summer solstice event. Can you tell us more about the details and mission behind that event?
Absolutely. So I'm the kind of person that's like, I have a tendency to go yes and yes and yes and. And so initially I was like, okay, let me just, get some sunglass like I'll design some sunglasses, start selling them online. But I was like, no, I want to take it to like I like the idea of having like a launch where it's like this is where I'm starting. This is the inception of the event. And so what I started to develop was like, okay, I make music, I like making art. How can I make this like an art launch? And so what I did was is I wrote an EP with like I think it's 5 songs of my experience with visual snow syndrome, also including like an acoustic release of a visual snow song I did like a year ago. So taking that, making that like the background music of what's going to be the launch party where I commissioned 14 artists to take these sunglasses, just a blank pair of sunglasses, and turn them into works of fine art. And then I'm going to auction those off and donate the proceeds to Visual Snow Research. And so they'll eventually go in something nice like this. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of blurring, but it's a like a nice display box. It'll have like a plaque here and everything. But the idea is just to kind of like I feel like when you can bring people together and like have like art and create a conversation. I think it's really cool. So yeah, this that's kind of like the backdrop of the event. It's like the official launch of 4 Summers. We're developing like actual product that people will be able to buy online, and it'll be like an opportunity for if they're in person to pre-order stuff. Yeah, and then also this auction will be online, so people can um, get these glasses and have them shipped to their house if they want to be a part of it. And I will say this too. I haven't figured out what I'm doing yet, but whoever does end up getting these glasses in the auction, something special they're going to have some special access to like future things we do, like permanent discounts, like VIP listings and stuff like that.
These are unique. These are one of a kind
One of a kind.
sunglasses that each artist individually made, right?
Exactly. Can
That's
I show
really
you some?
yeah,
So this is a pair designed by Skywalker, a very talented artist.
very nice.
Super cool.
Yeah.
This is by Taya. It's got like I feel like I shouldn't even be touching these ones because they're on. I can put them on screen. But it's got like I don't know how you describe it. Is it like not watercolor, it's the paint where it's got like raised. I'm so bad
Okay.
with paint
Yeah.
styles, but it's really cool. She signed them right there.
Wow. That's nice.
Are by Jared Konopinski. These ones are really cool.
Wow. That,
Inspired by his fishing trips with his father as a kid, which is
oh,
really cool.
wow.
Yeah, so there's 14 of these. Every artist, my direction to them was this is 4 Summers stands for like seeing like the goodness and like the struggles. It's happiness. It's choosing to be positive through everything. But then I said a cap. So I said use that as inspiration. But the caveat is I hate telling artists how to be artistic. So do whatever you want. So this is what they came up with, and I mean, all these glasses are so cool. Everyone did
Yeah,
such a good job, and I mean, shout out to them for taking time to do this. They didn't have to work on
absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so the event is taking place in Los Angeles or in the Los Angeles area.
Yes, in West Hollywood, on the rooftop of the Avalon, on June 20th, starts at 6:30 p.m. It's the summer solstice, so 4 Summers, summer solstice. It just
Yeah.
fitting. It's gonna be really cool. It's just like a place for people to come, hang out, see the art in person, listen to music, have food, drinks, and just chill, hang out with me like people who are gonna be there. It's gonna be a good time. And this is just the first of many, Kerri. Like I want to do this probably. I'm definitely doing this every year. I may do it more than once a year. We'll see.
That's awesome. And you said there is an online component, right? Where can people go who are not, in the area?
Oh yeah, so they can on my website. There's a link there. You can go check out the auction bid. I really hope that people see this and they go bid on glasses and just be a part of this because it's for a good cause and I really want to raise a lot of money for this cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you share your URL?
So yeah, if you just go to the number 4smrs.com, you'll go to our blog section and the link will be there for the auction. And
Awesome.
I'll put that on the homepage too, so people can see that as well.
Awesome. And so it sounds like an awesome event. Everyone should check it out, June 20th. So, what advice would you offer to someone who is struggling through a medical journey or a tough diagnosis? You mentioned earlier in the conversation that this went on for years, right? That you were trying to figure out what was going on, and there's, I'm sure, a mental toll, not just a physical one. So, what kind of has helped you get through challenging times?
That's a great question. I would say first and foremost is finding people who get it. I think like being able to connect with other people who have visual snow, even like I didn't start connecting with people that had visual snow until about like probably 2 years ago. But even that was like such a relief and a reminder of like, oh my gosh, this I'm not some freak of nature that I'm like not the only person. So I would say finding people who get it, there's communities for everything. You just go online and type in your condition support group, and you will find somebody. Just find a group that can help you. And if there's not, start one. Go on Reddit. People, there's Reddit threads on everything, and people nobody wants to be alone, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Find other people and just recognize that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like for me, like during my darkest times, like I'd be like, there's no way I can live the rest of my life like this. And it took me to some dark places, but I think just persevering, you end up growing so much in the process. And it is an opportunity. And I know some of that, like if you're in the thick of it, that kind of sounds like, oh, it's like, oh my gosh, that's so like easy for you to say, or like that doesn't help me right now. But it's the truth is you have to just stick it out and stay strong.
hmm Yeah, and the community, like you said, is so important. And if you can't find one, create it. I love that. That's awesome. So you talked about being very creative. You're a musician. I listened to some of the lyrics you wrote about your condition and your journey. It's really super interesting. So, how would you say art and music have helped you deal with this, journey that you've been on?
Yeah, I would say that for me, like one of the hardest parts about visual snow is it's 24/7. It never lets up. Even when I close my eyes, I still see static. So that has felt like claustrophobic. It's felt like overwhelming at times. And for me, like being able to focus on like writing a song, thinking of lyrics for like a song, whatever, like that was like is meditative for me. And it like it's in those moments where like I would find myself being like, oh my gosh, like I wasn't thinking about my visual snow for 20 minutes. Like that, it,
Mm,
it's just like that to me was such a huge part of it. And so because of that, like writing music is like something that's become like really near and dear to me and something that I love. And it's just like a huge part of my life now. So yeah.
yeah, awesome. Could you share where people can find you online? I know you shared your URL, but maybe your Instagram handle where people can kind of hear some of that music.
Yeah. So it's Scott4Summers on Spotify, on Instagram, Scott4Summers as well, TikTok, everywhere. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so we like to end our My Hero interviews by asking the same question of all of our heroes. What would you tell your younger self or yourself before this all happened, knowing what you know now?
Oh, this is going to help you find your path, not destroy your path.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Scott, for sharing with us today on My Hero 360. You're making a huge difference and impact by using your voice to advocate for and raise money for this under-researched condition. So, love what you're doing. Good luck with your event. Everyone should check it out. And thank you again for partnering with us on this. We appreciate it.
Sure, yeah, and you guys are awesome. I mean, kudos to you guys for what you're doing and amplifying voices and helping get stuff out there. So thank you, Kerri. Appreciate your time as well.
Thank you.